Today, I'm flying every American airline for the next 72 hours entirely in first class. From Hawaiian to Delta to United, I'll compare all 6 airlines back to back. With a sticker price of over $10,000, I'll show you exactly what it's like, from the good, the bad, and the ugly. Oh, and you're invited along for the ride. Let's pick up my mammoth journey then, on the ground in California. Well, hello there and welcome back to the channel where we begin our pretty challenging adventure. We're going to start off with JetBlue, so without any more to say, let's head in the terminal and go and check in. This will be our first of 6 back-to-back flights, and I honestly don't think it's dawned on me the scale of this undertaking. The JetBlue check-in is pretty busy, however first class get a separate check-in facility. Tickets issued, let's hotfoot it over to TSA. Now there's no fast track for JetBlue here, but I do have TSA pre-check. Sadly, peak summer travel has other ideas. JetBlue provides no lounge access across its route network, though it's not really an issue today because of the additional time TSA took. Therefore, let's head to our gate B3. Our aircraft is a 9-year-old Airbus A321, used exclusively on transcontinental operations. Shall we go and get on board then? Perhaps a shock to some, but this is unlike most narrow-body jets, in that you're met with lay-flat seating, rather than the usual recliners up front. I'll stow my carry-on in the overhead, with further room for my rucksack under the seat in front. I'm presented with a pre-departure sparkling water in a plastic cup and get my seatbelt fastened as the safety demo begins.
To fasten your seatbelt, insert the flat metal end into the buckle and pull on the strap to tighten.
Our flight today will see us travel some 3,000 miles and 5 hours all the way over to New York's JFK Airport. As we reach our cruising altitude of 38,000 feet, let's take a proper look around our aircraft, with space for 159 passengers across coach and first class. There's actually 2 types of first class seating, side by side, and what I've chosen, one of the 4 mini suites. Fun fact for you, these are actually the world's first aircraft seats with closing doors. Given that they were introduced back in 2014, it's certainly starting to show its age. As a result, JetBlue have introduced a new version of this product which flies on their international routes. Also included at my seat is some bedding and a Cara amenity kit. It's basic but does include some skincare samples, eye mask and flight socks. Time I think to take a look at today's menu. There's a wine list, though no champagne, just sparkling wine, and a tasty looking menu of which you can order 3 small plates. I guess it's kind of tapas style fare. We'll kick off with a much needed caffeine hit in form of a cappuccino, which is actually pretty decent. Let's get my tray table out, which is a little cumbersome, but for sure a smart use of space, and see what I've ordered. It's all served on one tray, but we'll take a look at each dish individually, starting with a cucumber salad and marinated feta. This is light, fresh and super tasty. Next, the burrata with pine nut crumble. To polish off, there's frankly only one option, the flat iron steak. Though alas, there's no option for cooking preference. It's certainly well done, but still delicious. Dessert time. I've opted for the vanilla gelato, with peaches and a shortbread crumble. With food service out of the way, shall we go and check out the bathroom facilities on board? There's one toilet for all of first, though I didn't have to wait at any point during the flight. I can't say there's anything premium about this lavatory, but I guess it serves the purpose on these mid-haul flights. Back at my suite, shall we turn this down into a bed? At the touch of a button, it folds fully flat in about 60 seconds. Provided bedding is from Tuft & Needle and includes a pillow and oversized duvet cover. So what entertainment options do we have? Well, for one, there's free Wi-Fi for all passengers, and speed-wise this is pretty good for streaming. though you can use the provided noise cancelling headphones to tune into the in-flight entertainment. The IFE is controlled via this remote, which is dated but functional. In terms of offering, it's pretty good, and there's even live TV available. Let's get the suite doors shut and order a drink off the cocktail menu. I've gone for a mint condition, their signature drink. Time to sit back and enjoy a movie. We've been notified it's nearly time for our arrival, meaning I need to get my shoes back on, change the bed back into a seat, and get my lap belt on. Well, I'm very happy to welcome you here to New York's JFK, albeit we're not here for that long because we're about to head over to another terminal and catch our next flight. We'll first need to collect my checked bag before making our way to another terminal. Well, in a strange turn of events, I find myself, let me explain. Yes, of course, if you're not familiar with this.
TWA's Trans-World Flight Center at New York International Airport.
Back in 1955, it was decided New York's airports was to be split into airline-owned terminals, whereby they competed for the best designs. Examples include Pan Am's World Port, National Airlines Sundrome, and of course TWA's Flight Center, which opened in 1962.
Nationwide, worldwide, TWA.
Today, the Flight Center is a hotel but open to the public, so it's a great spot to explore during a layover. And unfortunately, I'm not flying TWA, but in fact the modern day equivalent of American, as TWA was acquired by American back in 2001. American Airlines operate from Terminal 8, so we'll of course need to catch the SkyTrain. It's a pretty straightforward connection and takes just a few minutes. Terminal 8 is super busy this evening, with snaking lines throughout. That is aside from the far corner, dedicated to American and British Airways first class. After presenting my passport, I'm permitted entry into this special check-in area. Here I'm invited to take a seat, whilst formalities are undertaken. Here you do actually get expedited security if you're not TSA pre-check, which is a rarity in the US. Another benefit of American First Class is granted lounge access, and not just any lounge either, the coveted Chelsea Lounge, located an elevator ride up to level 4. The offering looks stellar, shall we see what it's really like then? The space is elegantly appointed, complete with a fireplace, plenty of comfortable seats, a sleeping area, and what I'm in need of, a shower. I like that they've included a Dyson hairdryer and DS and Durga amenities. Anyhow, let's freshen up. Now let's head to the lounge's restaurant for dinner. It seems there's a pretty extensive champagne list here, though you have to ask for the top shelf stuff. Today's top shelf offering is a punchy LPGS, which retails at around $200 a bottle. My starter is here, the potato croquettes with caviar. I bet you didn't expect to see caviar on your bingo card today. For main I choose the lamb and beef kofta, which is delicious. All polished off with a British favourite, peach crumble with vanilla custard. Unfortunately, our lounge time is over, and it's time to go and catch our next flight. We're departing this evening from gate 32, which is a few minutes walk from the lounge. It's not all too long before I'm invited to board as priority in Group 1. Unfortunately, given the position of the gate, I cannot see our aircraft, but we'll be getting on board American's A321T. It's a unique aircraft in the AA fleet, as American only operates it on its most premium transcontinental routes. It again feels quite the novelty to walk down a single aisled aircraft with flatbeds either side. So let's take a proper look at our aircraft. There's capacity for 102 passengers on board, with room for just 10 in first class. So I've selected 3 Alpha for this next leg, which offers a comfy flatbed suite based on the Safran Sky Lounge platform. There's easily accessible controls for the IFE, along with a power outlet. It is however showing signs of neglect. There is a reason for this though, as AA is slowly phasing these out, in lieu of their highly anticipated flagship suite. There's bedding provided at my suite, along with an amenity kit, including skincare, slippers and a dental kit. With that, I'll get settled into my seat. I've not been offered any form of pre-departure drink, unsure if that's normal. Now to get my seatbelt on, as the safety video begins to screen.
Remove the harness before opening the pouch. Put the vest over your head, wrap the strap around your waist.
Now airborne, let's take a look at our route this evening. We'll be flying approximately 3,000 miles over the next 6 hours, all the way to Los Angeles. As we've reached altitude, shall we peruse this evening's menu? Unfortunately, selection this evening is poor, with no soup loaded, and my first option of chicken and second option of salmon not available. Bear in mind I'm in row 3 here, so I'm unsure what row 5 got. In terms of the wine list, there is actual champagne served, which is great to see, though nothing punchy. I instead go for some sparkling water and warm nuts whilst my food is prepared. I'm initially served a seasonal green salad with goat's cheese and strawberries, along with harissa carrot timbal. Both taste fresh, but perhaps not my first choice. For main I had no alternative but to go for the lamb cutlets, which are quite dry if I'm honest. Will AA save the day with their dessert? It's actually my first time trying their famous ice cream sundae, which whilst extremely calorific, is utterly divine. In terms of Wi-Fi this evening, it's pretty good, though it needs to be for $35. Time to get the provided slippers on and check out the single lavatory at the front of the cabin. Similar to JetBlue, it offers the bare basics commanded of an in-flight loo, though again no additional premium amenities, which is a shame given the price. Back at my seat, shall we get this transformed into a bed for a 39,000 foot movie night? The bed itself is comfy, but a little on the narrow side. Each first class passenger is provided with Bang & Olufsen noise cancelling headphones, which I might add have to be returned after the flight. Movie selection is good, and within a few moments of browsing, settle on a classic, Iron Man. Well, there we have it, our second flight is coming to a close. All that's left is to enjoy a pre-landing sparkling water and hot towel before it's time to buckle up as we come into LAX. It's pretty late now, in fact nearly 1 AM, so what's the plan? Let's collect my bag and grab an Uber. Our next flight will be first thing in the morning, so I found an airport hotel to get some rest for a few hours. So with that, I'm gonna get some sleep. Good morning and welcome back to the airport, which certainly feels like my second home by now. We'll head straight into the terminal and check into our third flight of the trip. Of course, we're flying Hawaiian. Thankfully, the Hawaiian check-in is one of the quieter desks this morning, possibly testament to my lateness. With my bag checked to Honolulu and boarding pass issued, it's time to go through TSA. Sadly, Hawaiian is not like American First, and there's no provided lounge for my morning caffeine hit. I guess instead we'll head over to the gate. It's at this point I set eyes on our aircraft, Hawaiian's brand new Boeing 787. This only started operation back in April, so I'm excited to see what it's really like. it seems that one lucky doggo is on their way to Hawaii too. I'm warmly welcomed on board this box-fresh Dreamliner by the friendly cabin crew and directed over to my seat in the first class section. As I stow my luggage at my suite, you may be wondering, what case is that? I'm sure you've noticed it throughout the video and others on my channel over the past year. I've already had multiple people on this very trip come up and ask. It's quite the conversation starter. This is of course Sterling Pacific's cabin travel case. They're a spec-driven brand that manufactures aluminium luggage for pilots and frequent flyers. They're made of 5000 series aluminium and reinforced with 5000 series aluminium corners, with impact-bearing ridges on the front and back with Italian leather handles. Four wheels provide maximum control and ease of maneuverability through busy airports the world over. Sterling Pacific cut no corners, making it the most sturdy option available on the market. It feels secure like a bank vault and oozes old school style and refinement. While Sterling Pacific's luggage may not be the most affordable option out there, it offers something unique for those who aren't willing to compromise on their luggage. To make it more accessible, they've provided you all with a special offer, a $300 discount, by using my code TrekTrendy when making a purchase at sterlingpacific.com/TrekTrendy. Wow, this sure is an upgrade to their existing premium cabins, which I flew back in 2021. I'm offered a welcome drink of guava juice, which is divine. I'll get my seatbelt on as the safety video begins to screen.
Place the metal end over the fitting on the buckle and pull the belt until it clicks.
This aircraft is equipped with emergency floor lights that lead to all exits.
So what's our route today? Well, you'll have guessed of course we're flying to Hawaii, but specifically we're heading 2,500 miles to Honolulu. As we reach our cruising altitude of 39,000 feet, the seatbelt sign is extinguished and I make it time to take a look around. There's room for 300 passengers on board across two classes of service. We'll be focusing on Hawaiian's new first class product, which is laid out in a 1-to-1 configuration. I've selected 2 Juliet, though in truth there's no bad choice aside from row 6, which has a missing window. The suite offers a small stowage closet where your noise cancelling headphones are housed. There's a separate IFE remote and power outlet, along with seating controls and a crisp 4K TV screen. Shall we kick things off then and take a look at the menu? Standout wine offering is, well, nothing to write home about, but there is a nice array of signature cocktails available. The tray table slides out from the centre console and into place as so. Now, you've seen a theme so far, but we've upgraded the sparkling water to sparkling pineapple and passion fruit. This is served with warm macadamia nuts. Okay, what's the food service like? To be honest, I'm a tad disappointed. I feel Hawaiian could get really creative here, but alas I'm served a stale rock hard croissant, which is, well, not the one. Entree wise, I have the pancakes with pork sausage. The fruit compote is a standout, but as for the rest, it's just not that great. Perhaps the pound cake will save the day. And I'm happy to report this is unexpectedly outstanding. Perhaps it's because this is breakfast service, but I feel the food is distinctly lacking, which is such a shame for their new flagship product. It's finally time for my first caffeine hit of the day, the infamous Airline filter coffee. It's also the perfect time to check out the in-flight entertainment, using the provided noise cancelling headphones, which are not a hit on yesterday's Bang & Olufsen on AA. As I settle in to enjoy my movie, what's the Wi-Fi situation, you ask? Sadly, non-existent. I'm told Starlink is meant to be coming soon, but I cannot find a timeline for delivery. Let's go and check out the bathroom situation. There are 2 available for first passengers, one at the front and one at the rear of the cabin. Another standard loo, though unlike the 2 prior flights, we have fancy coconut soap. There's also some spa music playing in the background, something I've only ever seen on Starlux before, so bonus points. Time to head back to our suite I think. I want to check out the bed setup. At the touch of a button, the comfortable leather seat folds 180 degrees flat. The bedding however is, well, it's the same as economy, which I find most disappointing for a premium product. Nevertheless, with such little sleep over the last 24 hours, it still looks most inviting. It's also a chance to experience the privacy provided by the fully closing door at your suite. Anyhow, I'm going to take a much needed nap. Well, that was delightful, and it turns out we're not all too far from our final descent, so let's get the seat made back up, as the cabin is prepared for landing into Hawaii. Welcome to one of the most beautiful places in the entire world. I need to come here with Millie for a proper holiday at some stage, or perhaps a cruise from the mainland. Overall, I'd say Hawaiian have a stellar new hard product, but need some work on their food service and bedding. The crew were, however, fantastic and clearly proud of their new aircraft. If you've not been to Honolulu Airport before, you may not realise so much of it is actually outside, which is such a strange feeling coming from most of the world where an airport is a sterile, unnatural environment. Time to grab my checked bag and head out of the terminal. Aloha and welcome to Hawaii. I'm super excited to welcome you here to Honolulu. I'm not as excited about having to go back on another plane now. I'd much rather stay here, but the challenge that we've got to complete, of course, the next airline is going to be United. So let's head over to Terminal 2, go check in and go and get on board. We'll first need to pass through security before entering the terminal. This is a requirement for all US bound traffic. Thankfully it's super quick, and we're met with the United check-in for economy and first class. Let's hotfoot it over to get my bag checked and boarding pass issued. Another smooth and quick process, with our favourite TSA clearance coming up. And within a few moments we're airside. Now, as mentioned, there is a more traditional side of the terminal, but the best part are sections which are outside. If you minus the jet fuel and engine hum, you'll be forgiven that you're in a serene city park. It's an idyllic place to enjoy a coffee whilst I wait for our next flight. We do, however, have access to a lounge this afternoon, and in order to assess United fairly, we must check it out. Now, it's not included in my standard United first class ticket, but was offered for a small supplement of around $50. Is it worth it? Well, it's a well-maintained, comfortable space, with plenty of seating, a bar, buffet with hot and cold food on offer, and a small dining space. I've gone for some chicken tacos, which to be fair are decent, though I wish there was more Hawaiian food on offer. It's not all too long before we're notified of our flight's imminent boarding, so let's head down the escalator and over to gate G6. And no, unfortunately we're not boarding a G6, but rather United's 787-10. At 3 years of age, it is one of the newest additions to the United long-haul fleet, and I can't wait to see what it's like. Those who have watched my videos for some time now know I have quite the interesting history with United. I'm briskly welcomed on board and directed over to my seat in the Polaris first class cabin. Our aircraft has space for 318 passengers, and near on every seat is taken tonight. I booked this a couple of months ago, but was only able to reserve an even numbered seat, in this case 8 Alpha. An odd number is the preferential seat on board Polaris if you want greater privacy, and the difference is significant. Let's stow my carry-on before taking a proper look around. The seat does indeed feel like you're sitting in the aisle, but it's still an impressive space. In front you're met with an HD TV, along with a USB for charging. To your left there's a small closet space, and it appears someone's old medication, which I've swiftly disposed of. It does appear to be a little dirty, but nothing a sanitising wipe can't fix. Let's get my seatbelt on as the safety video begins to run.
Pulling the loose end of the strap. Lift the buckle to release.
Please take a moment to look around in order to familiarize yourself with the aircraft.
As we leave the beautiful state of Hawaii behind, what route are we taking tonight? Well, we'll fly for the next 9 hours, some 3,700 miles, all the way to Chicago, Illinois. as we reach our cruising altitude of 40,000 feet. Let's get my seatbelt off as service springs into action. United provide this amenity kit which has been modified for their Hawaii service. This really is such great attention to detail. Next I'm provided with a warm towel as drink service begins. No guesses what I've gone for. It's all going so well until food service. So there's no menu and I'm offered either pineapple fried rice or pineapple teriyaki chicken. It's not exactly premium and this continues to the attitude of the crew who seem entirely disinterested. I have my one tray meal placed down in front of me with not so much as a word. So what else have we got? To start, a rice dish with crispy onions and some mystery meat. I guess we're gonna have to try and establish what. I think it's pork. Can't be sure though. It's a weak course. Next up, the pineapple teriyaki chicken, complete with one piece of pineapple. It's filling but really nothing special at all. To close, we'll try the lemon cake, and this is actually the best part of the meal. Oh, and to clear my food, after waiting 20 minutes, I had to go and hand my tray to the flight attendant, who simply barked at me to put it on the side of the galley. Okay then. Before turning down my seat for sleep, let's take a quick look at the Wi-Fi. This is chargeable, though at a more than reasonable $10, or $8 if you're a United Mileage Plus member. Performance-wise, it's not super quick, but did manage to stream YouTube, so you can't knock that. Right, I'm properly tired now. I'll grab my bedding out of the overhead bin and turn down my Polaris suite. I did think jokingly to myself what the reaction would be if I asked the cabin crew for some assistance, which is commonplace in premium cabins on Qatar, Virgin or even BA. Best not. Let's grab my amenity kit and own Emirates PJs and head to the bathroom. There are 4 available for first class, 2 at the front and 2 at the rear of the cabin. We've most definitely found the winner to date. This is huge. I'm happy too to see for the first time on our trip additional amenities such as garment spray, facial mist and even hand cream. Nice work, United. With that, I make it time for sleep. It's been quite the day. Still, 2 more flights to take tomorrow though. Well, good morning. I slept very well actually, though unfortunately just not for long enough. Let's get my seatbelt on as we make our final descent into Chicago. Welcome to the Windy City. Let's collect my bag. Now, I've got an idea. My next flight isn't for another few hours, so let's hop in an Uber and transfer over to the Hyatt Airport Hotel. I got this for a few thousand points, and it will provide somewhere to freshen up during my layover. Of course, this means a nap. Waking a couple of hours later, I think it's shower time, before heading back to the airport. So what airline is next on our list? Of course, it's Alaska Airlines. Let's head on into the terminal and check in. Usefully, check-in appears deserted, which at the back of my mind makes me think, goodness, have I overslept? Thankfully all is good and I have enough time. As if by clockwork, it's time yet again for TSA pre-check. It's an absolute breeze today, and I'm through in seconds. Alaska is like most of the US airlines we've flown so far, and do not provide lounge access, so instead we'll grab a double espresso shot, before heading to our gate. And here she is, our 4.5-year-old 737 MAX 9. Time to get on board then. Now I booked row 1 for this trip, but when getting on board I offered to move so a couple could sit together. Therefore instead we're in row 3. So the MAX 9, it has capacity for 178 passengers across economy, premium and first class where we're sitting. I booked 1A because of the extra legroom, but in reality there's ample legroom in any of the first class seats. I'm promptly offered a pre-departure water as we're asked to put our seatbelts on and the safety video is run.
T1 Safety Dance.
As we climb in altitude, shall we take a look at our route? We'll fly for the next 4.5 hours, some 1,800 miles over to Seattle, Washington. First up, given we're lacking a seatback TV, what's the Wi-Fi like? Well, they do indeed provide it. Whilst it's not free, it's a more than reasonable $8. Speeds are fair and enough for streaming, so that's a tick in the box for me. In terms of the rest of the seat, legroom is fab, and there's even a footrest, which folds down as so. There's a small counter between you and your seatmate, with cup holders, netting for your essentials, and a power outlet. Shall we investigate the food offering on board? Like United, there doesn't appear to be any kind of food menu. However, there's an extensive drinks list at my seat. It's frankly well overdue that we crack open an ice-cold DC. This is complemented by some mixed nuts. For lunch, I'm offered either shrimp linguine or teriyaki chicken. Given this chicken dish doesn't come with the added promise of pineapple, I think we'll give it a go. My food is promptly presented all on one tray and looks fab. I'm happy to report it also tastes fantastic. Top marks here, Alaska. Of course, plain food is not complete without dessert. Let's go check out the lavatory. There's just one for first class, located at the front of the cabin. Being a narrow-bodied jet, it's smaller than what we're used to, but serves the purpose well. And no, there's no additional amenities provided, unfortunately. For the remainder of the flight, I relax enjoying several podcasts and look out of the window. A couple of hours later, and we've made it to Seattle and make our final approach to land on time. I'm very happy to welcome you to Seattle. Of course, we're here for our last flight, and we've saved perhaps the most interesting until last. Of course, you've all been waiting for it, Delta. Delta is another airline I have an interesting history with, but I'm hopeful today will be a lot smoother and indeed cleaner than before. Check-in is super efficient, taking just a couple of minutes to complete formalities. All checked in, it's now time for the last TSA pre-check of the trip. Will we be as lucky as Chicago and Hawaii? That will unfortunately be a no. Around 25 minutes later, I'm through and airside. I love how bright and airy this terminal is. In terms of lounge access, we do actually have this as an option this afternoon, in form of the Delta Sky Club. Selection here is plentiful, with a decent buffet offering anything from freshly made wraps, ribs, to salads and cookies. There's also a fully stocked bar with a whole host of complimentary drinks. I however need a little extra energy after having 5 back-to-back flights under my belt, so of course a caffeine hit is needed. It's not all too long before I spot our arriving aircraft, a 2-year-old Airbus A330-900neo. I think this marks our cue to leave the lounge and head over to the satellite terminal for boarding. For this we'll need to take a train, and of course, typical me, I very nearly missed it.
Run.
Yes, I am fully aware another one comes in 5 minutes, but life's a game, right? Here we are then, gate S11. It's finally time to board our last flight of the challenge. I'm really inquisitive to what Delta is going to be like. I guess we're about to find out. Let's stow my bags in the overhead bin and take a proper look around. Our aircraft has a total passenger capacity of 281 spread across 3 classes. We're of course in one of the 29 Delta One suites, specifically 6 Alpha. This is for sure the suite to go for on board. Unlike United, even is the number to choose, or else you'll get a suite closer to the aisle like this one. Settling in, it already feels private, though of course this comes complete with a fully closing door, which will be unlocked after liftoff. There's plenty of in-suite controls, Delta branded noise cancelling headphones, and a small storage space with, someone's chewing gum wrapper. First up, I guess I must try the champagne. Also note this is served in an actual glass. I'm also presented with a menu, which at this point I've nearly forgotten what they look like. It's extensive, and I'm kind of relieved to see no teriyaki chicken in sight. With my order placed, the jet bridge retracts, and we're asked to put our seatbelts on as the safety video begins to screen.
Items completely under the seat in front of you. All exits are clearly marked with a green exit symbol, and remember, they might be behind you.
As we continue to gain altitude over Seattle, where exactly are we going? We're flying to my home country of the United Kingdom, which will take us around 10 hours and a distance of 4,700 miles. Now we've reached our cruising altitude of 39,000 feet, let's get my seatbelt off as service begins. I'm presented with a hot towel, and as I eject the tray table from the centre console, I'm served, you guessed it, a sparkling water, along with some warm nuts. Within no time at all, my meal arrives at my suite, all on one tray. Shall we get stuck in? I'll start with the burrata, served with pesto and sun-dried tomatoes. Next, I couldn't resist the tomato soup, served with a warm ciabatta. For main, I've chosen the braised short rib with mashed potatoes. The beef is tender and melt in your mouth. Goodness, this food is fab. To close, I've gone for Delta's take on the ice cream sundae, complete with crushed Biscoff for good measure. With dinner service out of the way, I think I can finally call it bedtime. The seat folds totally flat at the touch of a button in about 45 seconds. Delta provides good quality bedding, including a fluffy pillow and light duvet. Delta also provide a great amenity kit. Anyhow, let's grab this and my Emirates PJs and head to the bathroom. The bathroom itself does the job but isn't anything special. However, I do spy some premium cosmetics, which is great to finally see. A quick change and brush of my teeth later, I'm all ready for sleep. Night all, see you in the morning. Good morning, well afternoon locally in London. I've also been informed we're on our final approach into Heathrow. A quick change later and we're finally coming into land, bringing with it the conclusion of our epic challenge adventure. We do absolutely need to talk cost though, so let me break that down for you. Flight 1 on JetBlue was $2,100. American Airlines was $1,600, Hawaiian was $2,800, United was $1,600, Alaska was $500, and Delta was $2,300, making a grand total of $10,900. Do let me know which airline was your favourite. For me personally, it was Delta for the fantastic staff, stellar hard product, and tasty food.